Well, well, if it isn't the man of the hour.
Do I know you?
Not yet, but I wager you'll be glad we met. The name's Dougal Gavorn, and you're Bartrand's new business partner. Hmm.
That remains to be seen.
And that's what I need to talk to you about. Bartrand turned aside my offer of help, even though I had the coin to spare. Thing is, I still think it's a promising venture. The fool won't let me invest, but if someone like you invested on my behalf...
Bartrand was pretty desperate for help. He must have had a good reason to turn you down.
You did. We had a disagreement. You've met Bartrand, yes? Someone would need the patience of a Bronto not to want to kill him. But what's done is done. Now his pride won't let him take my coin, even if it ruins him.
He won't be happy if I do this.
Then why tell him? Bartrand is better off not knowing a lot of things. This way he's happy, you're happy, and I'm happy. We're all happy.
Just what kind of terms are we talking about here?
I give you what Bartrand needs. Bartrand thinks it's your coin. Then when the expedition's done, you pay me back double.
What if I don't have double? This might all be for nothing.
If you really think it's such a waste of coin, why go at all? I think double's the very least I could earn back for this kind of investment, don't you?
This seems suspicious.
I'm taking quite a gamble myself. I'm willing to bet you're a good risk. Bartrand obviously thinks so. You care to extend the same courtesy to me?
If Bartrand doesn't want your help, neither do I.
Think you can come up with a coin all on your own, eh? Fair enough.
There are plenty of ways to get what we need.
Really? From what I can tell, it seems your friend enjoys spending coin more than saving it. You change your mind? Come talk to me. I doubt this expedition is going anywhere in the meantime.
I convinced the miners to return to work.
Excellent. I knew you would handle those layabouts.
Yep. What daggers? Got them too?
You won't find better prices.
You again? What now?
I spoke to Varric about becoming a partner.
Partner? Bloody Varric. I suppose you're the help he promised. It figures. If you see that sodding bastard, bring him here. I want to hear exactly what he's promised, right from his lying mouth. Just bring Varric here already.
Bodan Feddick, purveyor of goods both common and rare, at your service. And this is my son, Sandor, who is as brilliant an enchanter as you'll ever find. Say hello to the nice union, Sandor.
Hello.
We shall be accompanying your expedition and providing the needed supplies. It's all quite exciting, isn't it?
You aren't worried about venturing into such a dangerous place?
Not with such fine protection. But I digress. Do you wish to peruse my wares, or perhaps make use of Sandal's unique talents?
Enchantment?
Just so.
I thought all enchanters were mages.
Not at all. The fabled dwarven resistance to magic has allowed enchantment of crafts for countless ages. Granted, most dwarven smiths must work for many, many years to learn the skill, but my boy is a natural, a savant beyond compare.
I like enchantment.
And he enjoys his work. What more could one ask?
Let's see what you have.
By all means, feel free to peruse my wares whenever you wish. Don't mind him, sir. Sandal's never been one for conversation.
They'll let anyone into Hightown these days. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that.
You've been an apostate your whole life.
Exactly. It was never anything I had to work for. Other people always took the risks to keep me free.
You!
Ah, brotherly love. It's quite something, don't you think?
Sure is something. Especially when little brother makes promises I can't keep.
Bartrand, so suspicious. I have in fact brought us our future partner.
What? Partner? You stupid nug-humping dirt farmer. Why did you go promising something like that?
Because if we don't get this expedition moving, brother, then we won't have any profits to argue about, will we?
Maybe you have a point.
So we're partners?
That depends. You got the coin we need?
Are we talking a full share here, or what?
If you have the coin, sure. You'll get a full share.
That seems like a lot for an expedition.
We're going lower into the deep roads than anyone's ever dared. Who knows what we'll find down there? Well, that means food and equipment and hirelings. None of that comes bloody cheap.
I do have your coin, in fact.
You're joking.
What did I tell you, Bartrand? Not bad for a human.
All right, partner. Full share of the profit between you, me, and Varric. Now we just need a decent entrance into the deep roads.
These might be just what we need.
What's this? 3? 4 entrances into the deep roads, all in the free marches? Where'd you get these?
A wizard did it.
Well, color me astounded. We just pick the most promising one and go. Time to wrap up any business you have in the city, my friend. We'll be gone for several weeks at least. Let me know as soon as you're ready and we'll head out. So are you ready? It's a long trek. If you have any business you need to wrap up here, you'd better do it now.
I'm ready. Let's get started.
Then let's not waste any more time. We've chosen one of the hidden entrances. The deep roads there will be nice and virginal, ready for a good deflowering. Ha!
Now there's an interesting image.
It'll take a week for us to get to the depth we need. There are bound to be leftover darkspawn from the Blight. Big risks, big rewards.
Risks, rewards, what could be better?
Exactly! Now, before... Wait! Who invited the old woman?
I'm sorry to interrupt, Sir Dwarf, but I need to speak with my children.
Mother! I told you not to get involved with this.
I just want to know one thing. Are you planning on taking Bethany with you?
I can't leave Bethany behind. I need her.
Mother, I'll be fine. I want to go.
It's not fine. You can't both go. What if something will happen to you? You, I understand wanting to do this. But leave your sister here, I beg you.
It's the Templars or the Darkspawn, Mother. At least I'm allowed to fight Darkspawn.
Well, you're not gonna be able to take everyone anyhow. You'll need to decide.
Bethany, I beg you. Don't go. Don't do this.
I'll be fine, Mother, I promise. This will work out for the best. You'll see.
Personal drama over with? Now let's get underway.
Been a long time coming, eh, brother?
That it has. The deep roads await!
No, this can't be right. The champion and his apostate sister came to Kirkwall to spread subversion against the Chantry. But you claimed this wasn't the case. The champion just happened to have dealings with the Canary, joined forces with a known raider, a blood mage, a rebel warden, and for what? Coin?
Maybe it's not as simple as you imagine, Seeker.
Simple? Do I need to remind you what your friend did? Do I need to tell you how many lives have been lost? How many more will be lost? You cannot sit there and tell me he is innocent.
I don't know if innocent is the right word exactly.
He must have known. Somehow the champion knew what was down there. That's why he wanted to join your expedition.
No. None of us knew. If we had, he wouldn't have let his sister step foot into that blighted hole.
Is that so? Then tell me your version of what happened on this expedition.
Well, we entered the deep roads as planned, but we didn't get very far.
There's been a collapse. The way forward is blocked.
What? Is there some way around?
Not that I've been able to find. The side passages are too dangerous.
Useless! What am I paying you blighters for? Set camp!
Problems, brother?
Sounding deep roads. Who knows how long it'll take to clear the path?
Shall we not try to find a way around instead? Seems like the logical choice.
You think I'm an idiot, Varric? The scouts say the side passages are too dangerous.
See? This is why you bring someone like me along.
We'll take a look. If we come running back, screaming, you'll know staying put was the right decision.
Fine, fine! Find a way around. Just do it quickly.
This is why I left the Wardens. I hate the blighted deep roads.
I hate to add to your burdens, my friends, but I fear I must. I fear my boy Sandal wandered off. He's somewhere in those passages right now. I beg you, keep an eye out for him. He just doesn't understand danger like he should.
When did you last see him?
Not a half hour ago, I turned my back to hand out rations and he was gone. He gets so easily distracted. Oh, I should have been harsher with my warnings.
We need to search the side passages. We'll bring him back if we can.
Poor Sandal. I can't believe he's done this.
Let's move quickly then.
Get ready! Now we fight! I think that's the last. Done.
So this is where Darkspawn come from. Bastards.
Be careful! Now you fall! All set. Be ready! Yeah! Afraid yet?
dwarves actually live down here? On purpose? What in blazes for?
Why is it nobody ever seems happy?
Well, I'll be a Nug's uncle. Isn't that Bodan's boy?
Hello? He survived this entire time.
I'd really like to know how you managed to kill all of them.
Boom.
And how did you do that?
Not enchantment.
Smart boy. Come on. We still need to find a way past that collapse.
Get ready! Go down! Done. Watch your step. I don't like the looks of this. Trap! Ah! Ah! That should do it. Done. All set.
This goes right where we want it to. Let's go back and tell Bartrand. He'll be so pleased. Bartrand! We found a way around your damned cave-in.
It's about time. Let's move out! Holy shit.
Is this what you were expecting?
I thought. An abandoned dyke, something old, but... what is this?
How did you even know it was here?
Old scavenger tales. After the third blight. A week below the surface, they said. But nobody believed them.
Looks like they were right.
Make camp here! We need to look around. I don't get it. Nothing in this tide makes sense.
Why's that?
We're well below the deep roads. Whatever dwarves lived here, they came long before the first blight. But where are the statues of paragons? I don't recognize these markings on the wall, or anything in the rubble.
Who knows how old these ruins are? Maybe your people were different back then.
I know enough about our history to know we haven't changed much. Dwarves have been mired in tradition for many ages. These dwarves might have been unique. If so, I hope they kept their valuables close at hand.
This place better be worth it.
Barton sure seems taken by this place.
You found him! I can't believe it! You found him! Hello? I owe you a great debt. I will repay it somehow. I swear my life on it.
No need. I'm glad Sandal was all right.
Because of you. You will not regret this.
Whatever's through there, it seems still intact. Think we'll find anything?
Bertrand is far more enthralled with this place than you are.
Unlike him, I wasn't born in Orzammar. I wouldn't even be down here if there wasn't profit in it. This entire place gives me the chills. Let's hope it's worth it.
Chances are we won't find anything but even more darkspawn and rubble. Maybe bones.
I suppose we'll need to go down there to find out.
To arms!
You see what I'm seeing?
Is that lyrium?
It's definitely magic. And not the good kind.
Doesn't look like any kind of lyrium I've ever seen. Look at this, Bertrand. An idol made out of pure lyrium, I think. Could be worth a fortune.
You could be right. Excellent find.
Not bad. We'll take a look around. See if there's anything further in.
You do that.
The door!
Bartrand! It's shut behind you!
You always did notice everything, Varric.
Are you joking? You're going to screw over your own brother for a lousy idol?
It's not just the idol. The location of this tag alone is worth a fortune, and I'm not splitting that 3 ways. Sorry, brother.
Bartrand! Bartrand!
I swear I will find that son of a bitch. Sorry, Mother, and I will kill him.
Oh, let's hope there's a way out of here.
On your guard!
I can't do that.
No good. Looks like he's blocked it somehow. We're sealed in.
Let's make this quick!
were those things?
That should do it. Looks like a fight! Be ready! There's more of them! Be careful!
Enough! You have proven your mettle. I would not see these creatures harmed without need.
I'd say being attacked on sight gives us plenty of need.
They will not assault you further, not without my permission.
What are these things? They seem like rock wraiths, but...
They hunger. The profane have lingered in this place for ages, beyond memory, feeding on the magic stones until the need is all they know.
Illyrium? That's what sustains them.
I am not as they are. I am a visitor.
It seems mostly interested in their hunger. It's a demon, come to feed.
I would not see my feast end. I sense your desire. You seek to leave this place, but you will need my aid to do so.
Don't do it. Demons will trip you up every time.
Be careful. I don't like the sound of this.
What are our options?
Why do we need your aid to leave?
There is another door that leads into the paths far above us. That is what you seek. It has been sealed, however, and cannot be opened without a key. I know where the key is. Do as I ask, and I shall tell you.
So what do you think?
We're not dealing with a demon.
Most unwise.
Now we fight!
Why would the Maker create so many Darkspawn?
What is this place?
This is the vault. The dwarves would have brought their... That can't be good.
Be careful!
Whew. The rock wraiths are supposed to be dwarven legends. They're not even supposed to be real.
Looked pretty real to me.
I suppose it doesn't matter. Look at what it was guarding.
Let's see if there's something that can help get us out of here.
Key. Kind that opens doors, I hope. Let's collect the best pieces we can carry out of here and then go. I'd say this is our way back.
How long to get back?
If we're unlucky, maybe a week.
And if we're lucky?
We stumble over Bartrand's corpse on the way.
This part of the deep roads looks familiar.
We're back where we started. And in only 5 days. Not bad, eh?
Could we... slow down? I'm not feeling very well.
Let's make camp if you're sick.
I'll wager it was those deep mushrooms we found.
No.
Bethany!
It's the Blight. I can sense it.
I'll end up just like Wesley, won't I?
That's just like you, keeping this to yourself.
What could you have done? Swoop to my rescue. I'm not going to last until the surface. It's coming on faster.
There might be something we can do. I stole the maps from a warden that had come to Kirkwall. I wanted to know if he was looking for me. He wasn't. The maps were for planning their own expedition into the deep roads.
Does that mean the Grey Wardens are here?
If the Wardens are here, I know where. We could bring Bethany to them.
And do what? Become a Grey Warden?
Is becoming a Grey Warden a cure?
Yes, I suppose it is. But it's not without a price. One not everyone is willing to pay.
Is this even possible? How does someone become a Grey Warden?
I can't tell you. But it's not something you can undo once it's done. Even if you want to.
This just keeps sounding better and better.
They might agree to it, however. That's if we can find them in time.
If there's even a chance, we must take it.
Then I hope I'm right.
What's wrong?
I think they're nearby. Or it could be Darkspawn.
Let's make this quick! There's more of them!
Anders.
Fancy meeting you here, Stroud.
I could say the same. I thought you were through fighting Darkspawn.
I'm not here to fight Darkspawn. I came looking for you.
You mean the girl as a recruit? Of course you do. I'm sorry. I know this comes as no comfort to you, but we do not recruit Grey Wardens out of pity. It is no kindness.
You think it's kinder to let Bethany die from the Blight?
Sometimes it is. Yes.
Stroud, trust me when I say this one is worth your time. With the Blight over, you Wardens don't have recruits lining up.
This is no simple thing, Anders. This may be as much a death sentence as the sickness, and you know it.
She'll die anyway. Take her and try. I'm asking you.
Very well, I will try. But if I do this, then we are even. If the girl comes, she comes now, and you may not see her again. Being a Grey Warden is not a cure. It is a calling.
Are you sure about this?
I wish it hadn't worked out this way.
We must move quickly if we are to make the surface in time.
Then, I guess this is it. Take care of Mother.
Home, sweet home. Finally. Oh, I wonder if Bartrand came back to the city. You think I'd be that lucky?
Luck hasn't exactly been our strong point so far.
This is true. I'm sorry about what happened to your sister.
She'll make it. Bethany's a strong girl.
I should have seen Bartrand's betrayal coming. I'll find that maggot if it's the last thing I do. I imagine you'll be heading home to, tell the family.
I don't have much choice.
You'll be a wealthy man, Hawk. It wasn't all for nothing.
Oh, my baby. You made it home. Bethany isn't with you?
No,
Is she coming back?
I don't know.
So the champion's sister was a Grey Warden?
Yes, but that's not the connection you're looking for.
Isn't it? The involvement of the Grey Wardens makes perfect sense. And the champion's companions? Meryl, Aveline, Isabella? That Warden Anders?
Don't remind me. I introduced them.
We thought they all came from Ferelden together, but now it makes sense. Motive and opportunity.
It's still not what you think.
Then I need to hear more.
Unless you've already decided. I can always go if you don't need me anymore.
Tell me what came next.
The treasure we found in the deep roads made us a fortune. The champion moved up in the world, literally. Bought a mansion in Hightown. Everyone knew who he was now. Even the Viscount was taking notice. The Grey Wardens left Kirkwall. It was months before we learned Bethany survived. 3 years later, the Qunari still hadn't left. The Qunari insisted they were waiting for their ship. But some of us knew better.
The compound was not meant to be permanent. There are concerns the Qunari influence is no longer contained.
Was it ever? Kirkwall has tension enough between Templar and Mage. But these Qunari, they sit like gargoyles waiting for Maker knows what, and everyone goes mad around them. Nearly 4 years I've stood between fanatics. And now, this.
Don't keep us in suspense.
Leave us. Meredith at my throat, Orsino at my heels, and a city scared of heretical giants. Balance has held because the Qunari ask for nothing. Even the space in Lowtown was a gift to contain them. But now, the Arishok has requested you. By name. What did you do?
I can't help it if I make an impression.
Apparently not. I remember how you helped my son. It seems you are meant to have influence above your station. Speak to the Arishok. Give him what he needs to keep the peace. Can you do that for Kirkwall, Sirrah Hawke?
I've seen hate for them, but I haven't heard anything major in years.
Zealots are bravest where their lies can't be argued, behind closed doors. Chantry leaders see Qunari beliefs as a challenge, not an attack. But the message gets muddled among casual adherents. I'm certainly not equipped to argue the fine points of faith.
Have the years been kind to Seamus?
He is his own man. But your actions tempered him somewhat. He's not so angry at the world. I thank you for that. I may not agree with him on many things, but I am proud of what he is becoming.
The Qunari usually arrive as conquerors. Odd that this has gone on so long.
Very, and I have no interest in antagonizing them. That is partially why I suffer being a messenger today. A treaty exists, and it has been honored. Although...
You have doubts?
They claim they're waiting for a second ship. But it has been 3 years. They want something else.
Any idea what I can expect?
None. Honestly, I don't think I've heard 2 direct words from the Arishok. Other than his rather deliberate phrasing of begone. If you think his asking me to notify you of this is strange, well, you would be right.
Sounds like you'd be better off without this headache.
They will not leave, and we don't have the resources to force the issue. At least, not in a way that would leave the city intact. If they had come to conquer, I suspect they would have done so.
I am always willing to assist.
Well, that is an attitude this city has lacked for a long time. Appease the Arishok. Take his demand and let him return to dormancy. As awkward as this has been, it is better than the alternative. I should spend more time with my boy. This life is too short.
Good day, Sarah.
Done.
Well, you have certainly risen through the rank. Good for you.
I wonder if I should try coming back tomorrow?
Fine day, Sarah.
We'll need to give them answers by tomorrow, Captain.
I'll have them. Dismissed.
The Seneschal was particularly vocal.
Dismissed. You'd think the Captain of the Guard could requisition a Templar or two, but no, that would be demeaning. Can't have them working for the people when eternity needs a nanny.
You had to know cleaning up this mess would be difficult.
It's not the challenge, it's the unending part. And really, I blame you. You poured money into a pot that was already full. Everything has shifted. Good job validating the fears of every anti-Ferelden and Kirkwall.
I didn't realize I was making it worse by getting ahead.
I'm just harassing you. Although you are a bit like the center of a hurricane. You've changed fortunes for many people, not always for the better.
Sounds like you're spreading yourself pretty thin.
There are a lot of people in my charge. Someone has to look out for them.
You guard the guardsmen?
I don't turn people loose like Jevon. There's additional training, doubled patrols. Costs are up, but I've halved injuries. I'll take it and argue with Seneschal Bran later.
After the last captain, you couldn't have expected this to be easy.
At least I had the guards on my side. Once they understood, they rallied. And those who didn't weren't fit to hold the crest. Stack friends against the enemies. I don't know if I came out ahead, but it's for the better.
Grouse all you want, but the Aveline I know doesn't regret a second as captain.
They'd have to drag me out of here. And I'm sure some are lining up to try. You among them, I bet. Haven't had much time to follow you around. Not that I need to. I can trust that you at least try to do right. I'm with you if you need me, Hawk. Just say the word.
Good luck getting in. I've been waiting all day.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, Messiah. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
I was called to the keep on important business, Bodan.
Yes, I was hoping to catch you before you arrived. I came to deliver this to you, the last of the proceeds from all that treasure you found in the deep roads. It seems your friend Varric found a buyer after all, yes? Quite well done.
So you raced here just to give me this?
Oh, I didn't want to be responsible for so much coin. Just holding that purse was making me sweat. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home. I said I would repay you for saving Sandal's life, and I shall serve you faithfully. It is good to know he is safe.
I didn't ask you to be my manservant, Bodan.
But I owe you a debt, and after what happened in the deep roads, I have no other way to repay you. I'll leave you to your adventures. Your mother asks that you return to the mansion when you have a chance.
Quiet day in Hightown.
I hope the Kunari never moves into trouble.
You've settled in nicely.
It's been hard work to get here.
Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
I'm listening, Aveline. What's the trouble?
A thorn in my side, inventing trouble and scaring people. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help, and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
You don't think it's worth investigating?
I have. He even convinced one of my lieutenants to raid the Dupuis mansion. Nothing there. You wouldn't believe how much ass I had to kiss after that. Bloody hobbyist constable. Why can't he spend his declining years building a boat or something?
Seems like it should be easy to prove if there are bodies.
Kirkwall isn't the safest place. That doesn't mean everything terrible is related. There's no sense to that. Can't be.
I seem to recall he had some good leads.
Then you won't mind chasing his threads. If it leads somewhere, I'll pick it up. Right now, he's just distracting my men. He's in the gallows. Do what you can. Thanks, Hawk. I'll try not to make a habit of this.
It's strange living here again. My childhood home. Now owned by my child. It's not something I could have imagined when I was a little girl staring out this window. I'm still grateful you used your money from the expedition to buy back the estate. I feel like an Amel again.
I'm going to make the name Hawk one to be proud of in this city.
I don't doubt it. Your father would have said that, with that exact look too. I just wish we could all be together as a family one more time. But I can't spend the rest of my life mourning Bethany and Carver. They're gone, and I can't bring them back. I guess I just need to start finding you a suitable wife.
Fenris said Daenerys left this at the mansion. Ah, this statue. Wait, where did I get this statue?
I like the doggy. Ruff, ruff, ruff!
Looks like they're having a nice chat. Maybe Sandal picked up some Mabari speak from our time at the hero of Ferelden's camp. You've had luck on your travels? A letter arrived for you. It's on the desk. That's where I'll...
Do you ever feel like you're part of a story?
Isabella, you look well.
Are you talking about the flush on my cheeks? It must be the whiskey. Do you remember the relic I told you about? The one I need to find? I've been following a lead. I'm so close I can taste it.
Isn't that what you said last time?
Oh, you mean when I went digging for that stash?
Yes, that turned out to contain several badly written poems and an old boot.
It could have contained the relic. I just thought I'd let you know that I may soon be taking you up on that offer of help.
Do I get a kiss from the feisty temptress when I present her with the hard-won prize?
If you want. I'll even let you choose where I plant it.
Why do you always win at cards?
Because I cheat, kitten. This trinket, it's elven, isn't it? From your clan. Don't bet anything you're not prepared to lose. Here, have it back. A jigger of your finest whiskey for my friend over here. The Hanged Man's finest isn't much, but it'll get you just as drunk as anything you'll find in Hightown.
And you'll wake up and find someone stolen your trousers.
That's when you know it's a party. I thought I'd have to watch myself around you, but as it turns out, you're all right.
That's mildly insulting, you know.
You know what I mean. You don't judge people. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, little things like that. If I had someone like you on board my ship when the storm hit, maybe we wouldn't have been shipwrecked.
If you hadn't been shipwrecked, we wouldn't have met. That would have been a shame.
I'll drink to that. I think I need a bath. Do you think I need a bath?
Just tell me if you hear more rumblings from the coterie about protection. Blondie's got enough trouble. Let me ask you something, Hawk. You made it into Hightown. I'd expect anyone else to get complacent, but you must have plans.
No plans yet. I'm simply trying to look out for my mother.
After everything that happened with Bethany, that's probably good thinking. To be honest, I thought there might be a chance you'd want to go back to Ferelden now that things have calmed down. It's good to hear you're sticking around.
What would I do without my trusty dwarf? I'd cry myself to sleep without you.
Oh, don't get all teary-eyed on me, Hawk. You know I can't stand to see a human cry. So, we've got a whole city-state full of trouble to get into. Shall we get started?
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass, but thank you for the help.
Spoil sport. Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
Three years. There's still no sign of Daenerys. I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
Don't tell me you're going to miss all the attention.
Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
You start over. Isn't that what you want?
I don't know how. My first memory is receiving these markings. The lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost. I shouldn't trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
Your problems are my problems.
Unlucky you. But enough. You have much to keep you busy, I'm certain.
By the Dread Wolf! Why is my house always such a mess when people are here? It's clean sometimes, I swear.
We're here to serve the maid.
Blondie, Sunshine, Daisy, Ravani. What am I?
Beg your pardon?
You don't call anyone by name except for me. Where's my nickname?
That's not true. There's Hawk and Bianca.
Hawk is a family name, and Bianca is a crossbow. Don't change the subject.
Haven't thought of a good one yet. What do you think of Red?
Too common.
Well, when you think of one, let me know.
I thought it would end here. Young Master Hawk destroyed Flint Company. None remain. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
Hawk? We were just talking about you.
Carry on. I love to eavesdrop.
Hawk said sarcastically.
You know I hate it when you do that.
Hawk muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf.
If, you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
I think I've met Lord Harriman.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
This is why the cycle of violence never gets broken.
You jest, but that's the truth. Give this up, Sebastian. Dedicate yourself to the Chantry as you swore.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
If I'm standing beside you, that should make her think twice.
Again, your interest in my plight humbles me. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
Don't come running to me next time you pick up one of these diseases.
Isn't that the point of magic?
I don't want to know.
Things just keep getting worse. I had Templars practically on my doorstep the other night.
The Templars are hunting you?
Not me specifically. They were just checking the refugee camps. But it's not like this place is a secret. It's only a matter of time.
We haven't talked much recently. How have you been?
Good. I just love what Knight Commander Meredith's done with the place. The curfews, the midnight raids on mages' families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
Is that making it harder for you, with justice?
In the Fade, there is no time. Emotion rules everything. Justice doesn't know how to sit idle until the right moment to strike. And I can't say I have any greater patience. I fear what my anger has made of my friend.
You chose to merge with him. Only you can make it work.
I am trying. I have not attacked the Templars openly. I've helped the mages here as best I can, but this impasse cannot last. One day, everyone in Kirkwall will have to choose a side.
Kunari don't never get sick.
Feels good to be captain of the guard, yes?
No, I will not change the patrols around your... mansion again. There's already been too many questions.
You wound my pride with such accusations.
But you were going to ask.
Eventually.
I'll look at the roster and see what I can do.
You! This is your fault! You and that blighter, Varric Tethras. You'll be the end of my boys.
I don't even know who you are.
Yevon, member in good standing of the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Not that it really matters to people like you.
You'll have to be more specific. A lot of things are my fault.
My sons are lost in the deep roads because of stories about you. Your sodding glory and treasure.
Don't you dare blame him. We both know this was Iwan's doing.
If you want to keep your job, shut your mouth, woman.
Your boys are grown men. It was their own decision.
What exactly were they trying to do?
It may be my fault, Monsieur. I've told them all the stories about you.
You're the only one who knows where they went. They were following the path of your expedition. Please help me find them. Don't let my boys die down there.
Your sons made an expedition into the deep roads. Did anyone go with them?
They went alone, the fools. Just my 3 boys against every darkspawn in the deep roads.
Iwan is Yevon's middle son. The whole thing was his idea. Emrys and Merrin were just following his lead. The greedy bastard didn't want to hire anyone else if it meant he had to share the spoils.
Sounds familiar.
I thought coming to the surface meant I would never have to face losing my sons to the Darkspawn.
I'll do everything in my power to bring your sons home.
I should approve, but it seems like I save a lot of fools from themselves.
Thank you, Masser. Those boys are my life. They entered the deep roads using the same passage you did. Please find them. I will see you rewarded for your efforts.
So much work to do.
You're the captain of the guard.
You're quite welcome. Good. Carry on.
That's strange. The door's wide open, and not a single guard posted. This is not the Lady Harriman I remember. There is something very wrong in here.
More! You lazy son of a bitch! What's taking so long?
Flora?
Why does no one in this house care what I want? More wine, or I swear I will drown you in the dregs.
She doesn't even see us. This is no normal wine.
More logs. It must be molten. You, more coins. I want every scrap of gold in this house.
Please, monsieur!
There's nothing to fear. You'll be beautiful. Pour it over her.
Don't! You'll kill her! He can't hear me.
Perhaps I should be the one.
We must end this madness. I visited this house often as a child. They could not have concealed such goings-on.
Oh, lower, lower.
I beg your pardon, Hawk. I did not mean to expose you to such things.
No, the feather. Use the feather. Where have you been all my life? Today, I am more than a man. Come, felicitate me.
He has no idea we're here. I've known Ruxton Harriman my whole life. He's a complete prude.
Where's your brother? Let's ask him to join us. Now, you be the naughty apprentice, and I'll be the Templar torturer.
All set.
You know what they say about a man with big hands.
Turn back. There is nothing here for you.
We just want to know what's happening.
You shall not enter.
On your guard!
Demons. Temptresses. We must see what greater evil they were protecting. A ruin, so close to Hightown. I remember no such thing.
Get ready!
In the shadows!
Make it good! I'm out to crack! The marked one has fallen!
Now we fight!
Will rule!
Looks like a fight! Be ready! Go down! There! Now you fall! Come back to you!
Come on!
Get ready! I'll deal with this!
That should do it. Here we go! Go down! Done.
You must give me more. Starkhaven will not submit. I put that idiot Goran Vale into the prince's seat, but the other families won't heed him. I must marry him to Flora and solidify our hold. But I need more power.
I've given you much. Your desires run deep. You've already traded your husband and your children. What more can you offer?
At the Blooming Rose, 50 silver's standard for a whore.
You'll hardly find my services standard.
Who is this? Who are you? How did you get here? Sebastian!
You were my mother's friend. How could you murder her?
Such an ugly word. I prefer remove the only obstacle between her and her dreams.
This was your idea.
I could create such desires if I wished. But it's far easier to nurture those that already exist. The desire for power is easy to find. You and your friend both possess it, do you not? You both wish to rise.
Not if it meant selling out my family.
How loyal were your friends to you? Everyone has a price. Everyone wants something.
Do not listen to her.
Oh, such a pious soul, masking so much ambition. Are you so different from my lady? You yearn for the same lands, the same power.
I am the rightful heir. She is a usurper and murderer.
You swore to put aside worldly goods and ambitions, but they couldn't stop you from wanting them.
I will hear no more from you! Be careful!
Return to the Chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul. Let us return to the church.
Sebastian, I am so sorry is such an inadequate word. When I think what Mother made us do, what those creatures made us do.
We were friends, Flora.
It was like a cloud came down on me. All I could feel or think was what the demon allowed.
Did your mother order the attack on Sebastian's family?
She did. You know Mother, Sebastian. She was always jealous of your parents. The demon twisted that until it was all she could think of. She was determined to seize Starkhaven for herself.
Was your mother a mage? How did she find this demon?
We've never had magic in our line. Perhaps that made Mother too confident. She thought she could deal with the demon and not fall prey to it. Those ruins there were unearthed when we expanded the house. Mother found the demon inside. I think she had signed her bargain before we even knew.
They're all dead. Your mother, too.
My mother has not existed for some time. What died today was only a puppet of the demon. If it takes every last coin my family owns, I will make reparations to everyone we've wronged. Starting with you, Sebastian. We weren't the only ones vying for Starkhaven. If you face more opposition, you have my support.
It will not make up for what happened.
No. That's true.
I'll tell you when I need you.
So you're a prince, are you?
That is apparently true.
There's doubt?
I've accepted the burden. That's all that matters. Why do you ask, Guard Captain?
The entitled types are always trouble.
In that case, I'm glad I don't count myself as one.
They never do.
There are still many refugees.
I understand. I wish I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the Desire Demon's touch. But I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Don't let the demon make you doubt yourself.
In trying to retake Starkhaven, I have already brought death to so many. Could I ever do enough good as Prince to justify that?
You could be a just and fair ruler. Worry about reparations once you take your lands.
I know you've done great things in Kirkwall, Hawk. I imagine your methods haven't always been scrupulous. But you clearly do more good than harm. I just don't know if I can follow that road.
We should move on.
I think this is yours.
My grandfather's bow, but where did you get it?
One of the Flint Company mercenaries had it.
Thank you. It's hard to mourn the loss of a thing while my family lies dead. But I did think of it.
What's the story behind that bow?
As the youngest son, it was my place to lead Starkhaven's militia. But I never had a talent for swordplay. Too much getting hit. My grandfather said the bow is the wise man's weapon. You can defend your city without opening its gates. Grandfather said the day I could pull the string on his bow, it would be mine.
Then why didn't you have it with you?
I was 13 when my grandfather made me that promise. I would rise at dawn to practice my shots until I could hit the eye slit of a helmet from the top of the ramparts. But my parents pledged me to the Chantry before I could show him.
Were you and your grandfather close?
He was a man of the world, Prince of Starkhaven. But he had the most unshakable faith in the Maker. When my parents threatened to pledge me to the Chantry, he told me he'd gladly trade his title for a life of contemplation. The Maker ordained a place for each of us, I remember him saying. We have only to serve.
I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet them, to save them.
I know. You're a true friend, Hawk. You brought me this to remember and honor them. But if I could bring back our lowest servant by snapping it in half, I'd do it without regrets.
Your grandparents would be so proud of you. When I was a girl, the Amels were one of our most prominent families. I'm glad to have one of their line in the estate again. How can I help you?
What is the Chantry's stance on the Qunari presence here?
Would it help anything for us to get involved? Or is it more likely to light the kindling? If the Qunari act against us, the Templars will defend Kirkwall. Otherwise, we guard ourselves best by waiting.
How long have you been Grand Cleric?
I became a lay sister here when I was only a girl. My parents died of fever, and I was taken in by the Chantry. Eventually, I took my vows. After I had served for some time, the revered mothers agreed that I should travel to Orlais. The Divine herself appointed me Grand Cleric of Kirkwall. That was near 30 years ago.
You knew my grandparents?
I dedicated your mother into the Chantry. She was a beautiful baby. Your grandmother was a very proper lady, but she was beside herself that day. And your mother put a fist in my eye.
Are you intending to stay neutral about the Qunari and mages forever?
The Maker's time is not men's time. We do not need to rush. The Chantry is not a domineering father with the whip always in hand. She is a gentle mother who knows her children learn best when allowed to learn themselves.
there are still many...
So, this is where you live. Not bad. I preferred the old place. It had, more charm.
You're talking about the shack I shared with my mother, uncle, and sister.
I meant Lowtown. Dirty, chaotic, glorious Lowtown. The smell of tar, and the sea, and the sound of some whore plying her trade in a back alley. Oh. Don't you miss that?
You can get your thrills in Hightown if you know where to look.
Oh. And where would that be?
I can show you what I have in mind.
I should go. That was an interesting diversion.
Is that all I am to you? Oh, my wounded heart.
We were using each other, sweet thing. I was curious about you, and now my curiosity is sated. Wait. You're not thinking of bringing feelings into this, are you?
What about love?
Love? We were ratting. It has nothing to do with love.
It's not always up to you. Love can be pretty persistent.
I don't care. It can go pester someone else. Did you know I was once married? When I was freed, I swore I would never marry again.
I can't imagine you married.
I was his plaything. A prized possession. He saw me with my mother at the market in Lemerin and decided he had to have me. My mother gave me away for a goat and a handful of gold coins. She didn't even haggle over the price. Bitch.
Your marriage was loveless, and you've never experienced true love.
Oh, I've been in love. I fell in love with a man not long after my husband died. He foolishly asked for my hand. I refused to be tied down again, and I fled. It broke his heart. Destroyed him.
I'm sorry it ended that way.
He was better off. I saved him a lot of trouble in the long run.
How were you freed from the marriage?
My husband took an assassin's blade to the back of the skull. And before you start jumping to conclusions, no, I didn't hire the assassin. I did thank him profusely, however. Ah, Zevran. He was an artist.
You're not afraid of being hurt. You're just afraid of hurting someone else.
No, Look, it isn't like that. It's just easier this way. Now, if you're done trying to confuse the issue, I'm going to go.
Lots of old things from Lothering in there.
Your hound is a mark of nobility in Ferelden, is he not? I have heard that gaining a Mabari's loyalty is considered the ultimate proof of character there.
That's kind of you to say. I think we make a good pair.
A dog cares nothing for worldly power. The Maker would like to see us learn from them.
Don't let it go to your head.
If you need any enchantments, I'm sure my boy would be happy to. Good to see you again, sir. Nothing new to report, I'm afraid.
Anders' manifesto. Oh, this thing turns up everywhere.
So, I never expected to be palling around with the captain of the guard.
We're not pals.
We're not? What about that time we painted each other's toenails?
Do you want something?
Love, life, and liberty. What more does a man need?
You're in a jolly mood.
Well, when you're here, I know you're not leading men into Darktown to arrest me.
Hello, Emmerich. Aveline says you need my help again.
I've spent the past few years continuing my investigation into the murders of Nanette, Merrin, and the other women. I believe I finally have a suspect. A man called Gascard Dupuis.
Is this man in hiding? Am I to find him for you?
No, I know where Dupuis is. I just can't get to him. When I became convinced of his guilt, I went to the city guard and demanded that they do something.
My men raided that house. There was nothing, and I've heard no end because of it. You were reprimanded, I hope?
Meredith forbade me from continuing my investigation. But she didn't say I couldn't seek outside help.
Were you the only person investigating these murders?
Yes, unfortunately. The Templar Order believes this is a matter for the City Guard. And the City Guard, well, they rejected my evidence and dismissed the murders as isolated incidents. They don't care either.
I've seen your evidence. Scattered notes, conjecture, nothing remotely usable. You can't expect us to act on your hunches alone. Look what happened when we did.
The guards who searched Gascard's place were incompetent. They didn't know what they were looking for.
Fine, if you insist.
What do you need me to do?
I knew I could count on you. You'll need to go to Gascard Dupuy's estate after nightfall. Please figure out what Dupuy is hiding. If he's innocent, find evidence to prove me wrong. It's just that simple.
No scheduled appointments at this time, apprentice.
You're looking well. My store is much better stocked, thanks to you. If you're interested in hunting down more ingredients, I can make other creations. And of course, I'll pay you for your work.
Sure. Just let me know what you need.
Perfect. I have a list of ingredients right here. Ah, my young friend. How goes the search?
Incredibly talented, Meryl. I can see you were meant for great things.
Thank you.
But you're stupid. Don't you think it would be better to work on where you are now, instead of recreating old glory?
No, that's kind of the opposite of what I've been saying. I'm the stupid one. Whatever.
A rich Ferelden, still a shadow of Val Royeaux, but impressive.
In the market for something
special, friend? What do you need, love? Package delivery?
I'm Hawk. I got a letter from some mage friends.
I see. Check the back of the board for our special rates.
Helping apostates is dangerous. If the Templars caught you...
One of my sisters is a mage. A gentle child, so generous. She was made tranquil last year. Templars claimed she was a danger. Now, it's like she's not there. That shouldn't be forced on anyone.
I won't stand by while mages suffer.
Bless you, love. The board has all the details. Should you take care of something, just drop by.
The best thing you can say is that the Blight didn't get here. It's a crap hole.
Just waiting on a good gentleman. Back on the way.
Follow my lead! Let's finish this! Go down! Get ready!
What creatures are they?
I don't think the guards raiding the estate met that particular reception.
Here we go!
That's strange. I haven't seen any sign of a woman's touch in this house. Whose clothes are...
Perhaps these belong to a family member.
Help me, please! He's gone mad!
You're not him. Shit, I know what this looks like, but I didn't hurt her.
Let her go, and we can talk.
If I let her go, you'll kill me. I don't know why you're here, but there's a killer out there, and I think he's playing us both. Just let me explain.
You don't have to be afraid. I'll hear what you have to say.
Several years ago, my sister was murdered. The bastard's now in Kirkwall, killing again. The same way he killed my sister. It starts with a bouquet of white lilies. He sends them to each new victim. Alessa was going to be next. I took her, so he'd have to come to me. I was finally going to face my sister's killer, but then you showed up.
He's lying! He hurt me!
I've explained this. I need your blood to track you down. If he took you, it was for your protection.
Let go of me!
She'll go straight to the city guard. They'll ruin everything.
I could report you to the Templars for blood magic.
Yes, I've used blood magic and lyrium to augment my powers. I'm not proud of what I've done, but I had to. He took my sister from me.
Can't you just tell the city guard what you told me?
Yes, can't you?
Why? I don't want him arrested. This isn't about justice. I need to be the one to bleed him dry.
Selfish little shit. How many of you risked by keeping this to yourself?
Emmerich was certain you were the killer.
Of course he was. But I was trying to find the killer just like him. Our paths crossed and he just assumed I was the murderer.
He'll want to know what happened here.
Tell him whatever you like. I'll be long gone by then.
I can help you track down your sister's killer.
No, I can manage on my own. I'm headed to Darktown. If you learn anything new about the killer, find me there. I have a score to settle with him.
About escaped mages from Starkhaven.
too Dalish, honestly not recognize the difference between demons and beneficial spirits.
You've never thought of the Fade as the home of our...
Don't get stabbed
The
again.
Viscount will not store all lyrium in the keep. Aren't you Hawk? Emmerich left not long ago. He said you'd arranged to meet tonight.
Did I tell him that? I must have completely forgotten.
Don't you remember sending this message?
I didn't send this.
You didn't? Strange. Well, I don't know. Emmerich's been acting strangely for months. It's probably just a misunderstanding. People talk about the
Message for you.
About bloody time. We'll deliver the cargo soon as we've unloaded the Antivan Queen.
You need to kill someone, try stabbing them. On your guard! I'd run if I were you! There! Now you fall! Have action!
Some mage sent that thing here to kill him. Why would anyone... Oh, Maker. The murders. Emmerich was right. He was getting too close. He suspected a man named Gascard Dupuis. Did he do this?
I can't be certain of anything. Gascard may have tricked me.
Then we need to find him.
Do you know where he is?
He didn't tell me where he was going.
Let's hope he's not the killer, then. We'll track Gasgard down, just to be safe.
My guardsman will find Alessa, the woman who was with Gasgard. She might still be in danger.
Thank you for your help in this matter. If you learn anything more, please come to me.
Be careful!
You could get another cart, you know. There's one in the Lowtown market with a litter of kittens ready to wean.
You don't pay attention to Templars, Kunari, or politics, but you notice kittens.
Templars, Kunari, and politics don't meow and attack your feet when you're buying food.
Are there any tabbies? I'd like a tabby.
Are you one of Yevon's sons?
Master Hawk? Please help me. My brother, Marin. Iwan locked him in with the Darkspawn. He sealed the door, left me here and bolted for that passage. He's gone mad. All he cares about is that damned sword.
Last time I was here, we picked this place clean. What's your brother looking for?
Iwan called it the Heart Drinker. He says it's the masterwork of an ancient smith from this Tig. He bought a book from one of the Orzammar caravans. It had the location of the sword. Or at least to the golems who guard it.
Another greedy dwarf. You think he took lessons from Bartrand?
Maybe I should have seen this coming. Iwan has been obsessed with that thing. He wouldn't tell us about the sword, but I never imagined he'd leave us to rot.
We should try to save Marin. Poor lad deserves better than dying down here.
Please. I don't want my brother to be eaten by those monsters.
I'll do my best. Go back to your father, and I'll find you when I'm done.
He's on the other side of that wall. You need to find a way to reach him. Please, come tell my father as soon as you have news.
Get ready!
Is everyone all right?
I thought I was done for. Those sodding Darkspawn jumped me out of nowhere. Nearly took my arm off. My apologies. You saved my life, and I don't even introduce myself. I'm Iwan.
After what Emrys told me, I wasn't sure I'd find you in time.
Emrys is Still alive? Good, good. That's good. I am grateful for your timely arrival, but I'm sure Emrys needs your help more. Fool still believes Marin can be saved. I'll only be a little longer, I'm sure. Then I can catch up and help you retrieve Marin's body.
Your love for your siblings is heartwarming.
Marin's dead. Nothing's going to change that. Besides, would I really honor my brother's sacrifice by not finishing what we started? We were after a dwarven weapon, trying to make sure it stayed in dwarven hands. There has to be other treasure here you can hawk. Leave me to mine.
I can't just leave you alone. The Darkspawn will be back in larger numbers.
No, I've come so far. There are more. So many more than I thought. You know what? Fine. The weapon is yours if you can get to it. This isn't worth my life.
But it was worth your brother's life.
The man who told me about the sword sold me a control rod for a golem that protects it. You want the sword, you need the rod. What do you say? Everything I paid plus 10% for pain and suffering?
I think saving your life is payment enough. Or do you want to go back on that deal?
All right, it's yours. Use the rod on the first golem. It should get you past the others.
Try the rod. Maybe it will do...
Looks like a fight! Be ready! Now we fight! Now you fall! One less to worry about!
Looks like... Someone got here first. That sword is in splinters now.
Maybe there's still something to salvage in this mess.
Did you smell that? The wind. I'd started to... Forget what fresh air was.
Tell me about it.
To arms! Looks like a fight! Be ready!
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Watch your step. That should do it. There! I'm running over you! One less to worry about! Let's finish this! I'm getting out of the way! Now we can relax. Done.
Quickly, before more guards come.
Terry said she'd find a way to rescue me. I will never forget this.
Let's make this quick!
Continue harassing. Elves were using magic. when your primitive ancestors still lived like beasts. If you dare interrogate one of my hunters again...
The Maker be my witness. I will bring Fainriel to the gallows.
Hawk, you may want to leave before this gets messy.
Are you actually planning to attack Templars?
This Shem caught one of our Dalen hunters. She tortured the boy with fire while she interrogated him about Fainriel.
That's nothing compared to what we'll do if you don't hand over the apostate.
This is your last chance to leave and avoid bloodshed, Hawk.
You've gone too far, Templar. I won't let you kill these people.
Traitor!
Now we fight!
I feel like there's a different law at work in this place. Someone else's rules. The guards don't come this far out. It's better for both sides.
Dalish crafting is second to none, I assure you. You've returned. Is there something you need? Do you sell the ink you Dalish use for tattooing? How dare you? That ink is sacred. We would no sooner sell it to Shem than we would sell our own children. You've returned. Is there something you need? I don't need... Of course.
Andarana to Shanhok.
If you walk the path...
I've got something for you.
Ooh. Did you get this from Master Island? Mythal, did I miss some important occasion? I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you, I promise.
There's no occasion, Meryl. I just thought you'd like it.
I do like it. I'm sorry I'm making a mess of this. No one has ever given me a present before. Useful things. Tools or clothes. Because I needed them, not just because. Maseranis, I'll find a good place for this.
You're glaring, Anders. Is there a reason, or is it one of your moods?
Your term as captain hasn't been particularly mage-friendly.
I've only turned a handful over to the Templars.
Every despot starts somewhere.
And yet I allow an abomination to whine at me. Credit where it's due. I don't get here as often as I should, even at...
Hawk, I've got some news. You might not want to be near anything breakable when I tell you, though.
Why don't I buy you a pint and we'll talk?
You just keep making this harder. Although I won't say no to a pint, if you're buying. I've had an ear out for Bartrand. After the Deep Roads, he ran to Ravane, probably because he knew I couldn't track him. But I hear he might be back in Kirkwall. He called in loans from a few of his contacts in Hightown.
Was he staying in Hightown, or just passing through?
If my information is good, and it's always good, he has a house there. Which gives us a good shot at having a word with my dear sweet brother.
How are you holding up, Varric?
Me? My no-account backstabbing brother is practically in arm's reach. I couldn't be better.
Would Bartrand really risk coming back here?
I think we both know by now that Bartrand would risk anything for money. There's a much better market here for that trinket he stole, and all his contacts are in Kirkwall.
We need some answers from your brother.
I agree. Bianca's been missing him something awful. Let's stop by his new house. Welcome him back to the neighborhood and all that.
Who are you?
I'm here to report Sir Conrad.
I know him. Did he do... something? Or something?
One moment. Are you well?
Oh, it's just that, you know, it's hard to think sometimes. But I will do my duty. If you've seen something, suspicious, let me know.
Sir Conrad caught some apostates. They offered him coin to let them go, and he took it.
Sir Conrad? Are you sure?
I'm afraid so.
This needs to be reported. I can't believe it.
That man over there, he's been staring at me for an entire hour. Maybe he likes you. He knows.
How do you know that he doesn't know that you know that he knows that you know you know?
Love the way the merchants glare at me as if I'm going to steal something.
Thunder.
All right, I'm just going to say it. Fenris, you need to present yourself better.
What are you talking about?
You're squatting in Hightown. I sympathize with your claims, but your neighbors have influence.
My claims?
To the estate. Rightfully stolen isn't exactly something I can forward to the Viscount. Be more discreet about yourself.
I shall endeavor to exist with less offense.
Oh, Merrin, you poor boy.
You... Did Iwan speak the truth? Were you too late?
He's hiding something. Tell us the truth. What happened to my poor Merrin?
Iwan said Merrin sealed himself in with the Darkspawn to save his brothers.
Iwan locked Merrin in with the Darkspawn to get more treasure for himself.
What? How dare you?
It's true.
Shut your mouth, Emrys.
No. I'm through listening to you, Iwan. You sealed Merrin in with the Darkspawn so you could go after that blighted weapon.
No! You bastard!
Iwan, is this your own brother? Get out of my sight! I'll kill you myself if I see you again.
Father, You cost me my family, Hawk. This isn't over.
Did you hear what Lord Barry said?
Oh, there's been so much trouble in Kirkwood.
This house looks abandoned.
I don't get it. My sources saw people making deliveries here just a week ago. This looks like it's been empty for months.
This is still our best lead. We might find something that'll take us to Bartrand.
My thoughts exactly. So that's how you greet your brother, is it, Bartrand? Fine. Say hello, Bianca.
Last one to strike buys the drinks. Line them up for me. I'll take them down. More of the drinks. I was starting to get lonely. Let's dance, you sons of bitches. You want a piece of me? Bartrand! I'm coming for you, you nut-humping bastard! Bianca, you think that was... I'll take you all! You want a piece of me? I'll take you all! Let's dance, you sons of bitches! You want a piece of me? I'll take you all! You want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? You're gonna... I'll take you all! I'll take you all! Bartrand! I'm coming for you! jumping bastard! Let's dance, you sons of bitches! Let's dance, you sons of bitches!
Oh, Varric, please forgive me, my brother. I was just jealous of you. How could I ever compete with you for Mother's love?
You're strong and handsome, and so very smart. What?
Why lie now about this? What have you to gain?
What do you want from me? I broke in, I found my brother, and it was awkward. Family business.
No. I think there's more to it.
Fine. You want the gory details? I'll give you the gory details. These corpses aren't even stiff yet, Hawk. To these... They were completely out of their heads.
On your gut! Here we go! That's the last of them.
Not my choice.
May Andraste guide you! I'll deal with this! Let's make this quick!
Bertrand, what have you done?
That should do it. Trap! Done.
Varric? Is that you? Praise the ancestors. Hold up. I know this man. He's Bartrand Stewart. Hugin, what happened here?
Varric, your brother. That statue he brought out of the deep roads. Bartrand said it sang to him, even after he sold it. I've been hiding in here, but the guards, they're like crazed animals. I didn't dare go past them. Everyone in this house has gone mad.
What did he do to the guard to turn them to this?
He's been forcing them to eat lyrium. Some of the servants, he cut pieces off them while they were still alive. He says he's trying to help them hear the song. Please stop him.
Bartrand's not exactly a nice guy, but this doesn't sound like my brother.
You said he sold the statue. To who?
I don't know. It's why we came back to Kirkwall. He was already starting to rant about the sodding idol and its singing. On his better days, he hated the thing. Wanted to get rid of it. But the minute it was gone, he got worse.
I haven't seen anyone alive in here except for guards. What happened to the rest of the staff?
I don't know what Bartrand did to them. By the ancestors, the sound's coming from his study. They're dead by now. I hope.
What do you mean you hope they're dead?
Just whoever, whatever you find in that room. Varric, give them a merciful death.
Everything will be all right. You're safe now.
I wish I believed that, human. Bartrand took the servants and locked himself inside the study. No one's come out for days. And those sodding lunatics just keep prowling the halls.
Then we go in after him. Come on, Hawk. Let's finish this.
Sing the song for me! I know I shouldn't have sold the idol to that woman. It was a mistake. A mistake.
Bartrand, get a hold of yourself. Do you know where you are? Do you know what you've done?
Varric, you'll help me, won't you, little brother? Help me find it again. You were always a good one.
Help you? Bartrand, you left me to die. You left all your men to die. And for what? Some trinket? Look at yourself. Look at what you've done to the men and women who served you. Where's your nobility, brother? Where's your dwarven honor?
You've already beaten him. Don't lose your head.
I want to know why. Why'd you do it, Bartrand? Were you already crazy before we even went into the deep roads? Or was it all the statue?
Idol, not a statue. It wants to be worshipped. It wants me. It wants me back. She stole it from me. For this.
Who did you sell the idol to, Bartrand?
She glittered like the sun, but her heart was ice. She will not feed it, not like I did.
Bertrand was a bastard when he sealed us in the deep roads, but he wasn't a madman.
Bloody ancestors. Why bring me this close and still nothing? For 3 years, all I've wanted is to look him in the eye and get his answers. Why he abandoned us in that Tig. What any of this was for. I guess there's nothing he could say that would make it right.
You don't want to do this, Varric. You're not the sort of man who'd kill his own brother.
No. I've been counting the days until I could put a bolt in his conniving little brain. It's not just us. Look what he did out there. How many more people will die for his folly?
He has to be stopped. There are other ways than murder.
Fine. We'll have to lock him away somewhere. I'll send somebody to get him. Come on, Hawk. The sooner we get out of this house, the better. These corpses aren't even stiff yet, Hawk. Somebody's been injured. What did my brother do to these men? Completely out of their heads.
Now we fight! On your guard! Let's make this quick! Go for the
We've got more on the way.
Bertrand, what have you done?
Done.
We should move on.
Trap! That should do it. That's enough! They're gonna kill me! Another! Go!
Varric? Is that you? Praise the ancestors.
Hold up. I know this man. He's Bartrand's steward. Hugin, what happened here?
Varric, your brother. That statue he brought out of the deep roads. Bartrand said it sang to him, even after he sold it. I've been hiding in here, but the guards, they're like crazed animals. I didn't dare go past them. Everyone in this house has gone mad.
Everything will be all right. You're safe now.
I wish I believed that, human. Bartrand took the servants and locked himself inside the study. No one's come out for days. And those sodding lunatics just keep prowling the halls.
Then we go in after him. Come on, Hawk. Let's finish this. We should move on.
Follow my lead! Sing the song!
More of them. Great. I was starting to get lonely.
I know I shouldn't have sold the idol to that woman. It was a mistake. A mistake.
Bartrand, get a hold of yourself. Do you know where you are? Do you know what you've done?
Varric, you'll help me, won't you, little brother? Help me find it again. You were always a good one.
Help you? Bartrand, you left me to die. You left all your men to die. And for what? Some trinket? Look at yourself. Look at what you've done to the men and women who served you. Where's your nobility, brother? Where's your dwarven honor?
He doesn't look so good. I'm not sure he even knows we're here.
I didn't come here just to leave without telling my brother he's a filthy nuglicker and demanding some answers. Why'd you do it, Bartrand? Were you already crazy before we even went into the deep roads? Or was it all the statue?
Idol, not a statue. It wants to be worshipped. It wants me. It wants me back. She stole it from me. For this.
Who did you sell the idol to, Bartrand?
She glittered like the sun, but her heart was ice. She will not feed it, not like I did.
You're not getting any answers.
For 3 years, all I've wanted is to look him in the eye and get his answers. Why he abandoned us in that thaig. What any of this was for. I guess there's nothing he could say that would make it right.
He's beyond any healer's skill. Make it quick and end his suffering.
Right. Still going to feel good pulling that trigger.
Oh. Oh. Ah.
Come on. I don't want to look at this place anymore.
something on your mind, Varric?
I should thank you for your help with my brother. He was a jackass, and he tried to kill us, but that was still the hardest thing I've ever done. He was never what you'd call nice, or pleasant, or hygienic, but he was my only brother.
He was obviously suffering. You spared him a lot of misery.
I hope you're right. I don't know if surface dwarves go back to the stone, or hang around singing hymns with Andraste, or what. I just hope wherever he is now, Bartrand stays out of trouble.
Any idea what really went on with him and that statue?
Well, the thing must be cursed. I don't know if it's magic, or demons, or the bile of the ancestors, but I think curse about covers it. If we're lucky, whoever he sold it to had the damn thing melted down for scrap.
If you're worried about it, we could ask one of the priests to pray for him.
I'm pretty sure any decent priest who prays for Bartrand would burst into flames. Anyway, thank you. I'll keep looking into who bought that blighted statue. At the very least, they need to be warned about what happened. Sour ale, vomit. You have got to hear this, Hawk. There's this tale making the rounds. They're saying you single-handedly fought off a pirate invasion at midnight on the sacred ground of the Chantry.
Don't the stories mention my stunning good looks? What about my cunning wit?
Nope. They skip straight to the part about the lovable dwarf with the gorgeous crossbow and the heart of gold. I try to steer them straight, but you know how stories go. Just don't be surprised if people seem in awe.
Wouldn't it make more sense for you to be the main character in these tall tales of yours?
There's a recipe to a good hero, Hawk. It's like alchemy. 1 part down to earth, 1 part selfless nobility, 2 parts crazy, and you season liberally with wild falsehoods. You let that percolate through a good audience for a while, and when it's done, you've got your hero.
I find it hard to believe you're spreading these stories without getting something in return.
Well, that just shows what you know, Hawk. The stories are their own reward. You really need to see the look on someone's face when I tell them you ripped the arms off an ogre. Just once.
What compels you to spin these ridiculous tales?
I love the sound of my own voice. And I'm a compulsive liar. Honestly, I don't know. It's just something I do. There's power in stories, though. That's all history is. The best tales, the ones that last. Might as well be mine.
And exactly how many taverns have heard this particular story?
I only frequent the nice ones. Where it goes afterward is anybody's guess. You may not be my best dressed or cleanest friend, Master Hawk, but you're all right in my book. Anyway, I'll quit exaggerating before it goes to your head. And that's just on the good menu.
And you keep a room here?